Now loading. Zero's Game Room.
Welcome to Zero's Game Room, where all things gaming takes place. Interviews, discussions, and the latest gaming news. So take a seat, get comfortable, adjust your headset, because it's game time. Here's your host, Zero.
Come on in, get yourself comfortable. The door to Zero's Game Room is officially open. I am your host, Zero, and today I don't have my co-host Onpred because we have a very special guest. He's been on the show before, actually. He's a master of memes and a master, in my opinion, of Fire Emblem. And I have one question for this guy. Is it the Dawn Brigade? We have Mangs.
No, it's just a bird.
Welcome. This is Mangs, a popular and probably my favorite Fire Emblem YouTuber. Thanks for being on the show again, man.
Oh, you're welcome. I am your co-host now.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, Onpred, you're being replaced now. We have Mangs. Sorry, you know, he makes memes.
Yeah.
Anywho, so today we're actually going to be talking about the recent Nintendo Direct, not overall the Nintendo Direct. We're going to specifically target Fire Emblem Three Houses because we got finally some information about this game. Overall, what were your thoughts about this game, Mangs? Like, just give me a briefing of what you thought.
Are we going to be able to date our students?
Oh my god, I know. When you're... because it makes you think. So the premise of Three Houses is basically you're going to be a professor at a monastery. It's called the Garreg Mach Monastery. It's kind of like a school, and you're the professor. And in the past, Fire Emblem, you've been able to date, you've been able to waifu them up, and in some cases have kids with these people. So that's a very good question.
I feel like that's, like, if we're actually going... I mean, they might scrap it, which would be very bold, but if they don't, I imagine that they set the setting of the game, and they were like, but wait a minute. How are we going to marry? You're their Oh. You know what? Let's just roll with it. No one's gonna notice.
Profit. This will grow great in America. They're gonna love it. We're gonna fulfill every child's, like... their lifelong dream. It'll be great. I promise. It'll make millions of dollars. I promise.
But seriously though, my general impression of it was that it's new and it's bold and it certainly doesn't feel like your traditional Fire Emblem. And on one side it scares me, on another side it excites me because, I mean, you can't just keep reinventing, or you can't just keep reproducing the wheel. Sometimes you gotta reinvent it. And even though that's, you know, the quote says you specifically shouldn't do that, I think that it's good that they're trying something new. They're really, you know, they're spicing up the franchise. And when they did this with Fates, it felt new and fresh, and it brought in a lot of new people. I see a lot of people complain about it. You know, they're like, oh, this doesn't feel like Fire Emblem. Yeah, but, you know, maybe it's a good thing that it feels new and exciting. You know, let's not try to be scared of everything that's new. Maybe we should actually welcome the change. Although, you know, as long as they don't blow it up.
Yeah, no, I totally get you. And I would agree, because it's true. You can't just keep reproducing the wheel. Yes, it has worked in the past, but if you keep doing the same thing over and over again, eventually people are going to be bored and going to be like, well, this was kind of just like, I don't know, this was like Fire Emblem 6 or 7, you know? And I do like the idea of this whole new... It's called Fodlan, I think it's called, the new continent.
Fodlan, yeah.
And there's the three regions, the Adrestian Empire, Fargus, and Leicester, which is spelled like Leicester. I think that's how Mecha said it. But it's Leicester. So I think it could work. I think it's got a lot of potential. Personally, I think I would want to join the Black Eagles, and not just because of Edelgard. I mean, granted, she is a beautiful specimen.
That's what I'm joining. That's where my allegiances lie. Team Black Eagle. I just want to point out, I just know a lot of people are going to comment on this, because, like, I have a tendency of, like, inventing new phrases on the spot. Just like me and Mecha, we're saying, like, how the tables have changed.
Oh, I know.
I just realized that we can't reproduce the wheel might just be one of those phrases.
I'm okay with it. You guys have, like, the best friend. You can't reproduce the wheel. Oh, I didn't know people reproduced wheels. Oh, is that...
Yeah, I guess so. The tables have changed, yeah.
The tables have changed. We are now going to reproduce with wheels.
So, yeah. But, yeah, like, yeah, totally. Edelgard, total waifu material. I'm actually working. I told Sarah this before we went live, but I sat down and I was like, okay, time to do like the standard trailer analysis that everyone does after the video goes live. And I was like, you know what? No, that's not what I'm about. That's not really why people sub to this channel. I'm gonna do a waifu analysis. I'm like halfway through it now. I'm analyzing and rating all the waifus that we've seen. So I've studied the trailer hard in this regard.
Oh, just the beautiful, beautiful waifus in there, of course. But for those of people who don't know Mangs, like, if you haven't checked out his channel, it's hilarious. If you love shitposts, memes, and Fire Emblem, and a little bit of luck, 5% luck.
Just 5%. Just 5%. No more.
And you see some things that if you were Mangs, you would not get a crit. He has the power to be like, I'm going to get a crit. I'll just crit them. And it happens. And it's like, what? What is that?
You seen that power that Blyloth has in the video where he like turns back time and then crits the brigand? That's my powers right there.
Oh, yeah. See, I noticed that. So is that going to be a thing kind of like from Fire Emblem Echoes where you could like turn back a turn, or what was that all about?
I hope not. Yeah. But they're talking about something called gambits, which seems to be sort of like powers that does things. I think that's Blyloth's gambit. Like, he's able to foresee crits and avoid them or something, since he's like a strategy. That's just speculating on my part, but I think that's what it is.
Yeah, no, I would see that. You know, everybody has something different, and like, you know, during the trailer we also saw the whole curved shot thing. So from what it seems,
combat arts are literally back from Echoes.
Yeah, but I think the way it's implemented is interesting, because instead of you just holding a bow, it's like you select your weapon, and then from ZR or ZL.
CL, yeah.
It looks like you can add the combat art.
Yeah,
to your
I
weapon.
saw someone pointing something out in chat, and what, like, this is a theory that a lot of my fans have, and it's that we'll have combat arts, but instead of echoes where combat arts drain your health, people speculate that the combat arts will drain more durability from the weapon itself, which I think sounds really plausible, and that actually sounds really cool.
Right.
So say you shoot with your iron bow, you have the choice between shooting regularly, or you can like spend, I don't know, 5 durability points of your bow, 5 points, and then you can like do a curved shot that deals more damage or something. I think that would be a really cool mechanic if that's how they end up doing it. Combat arts need some sort of pricing to them to make sure you can't just use them, because, you know, if there's no price to them, you can just spam them, right?
Right, it becomes overpowered. And I like how Mecha, during the stream, presented it, how he was like, he liked the idea that magic cost health, but he didn't like the idea that, like, oh, well, now my combat arts cost health. I think durability, especially because that was my biggest problem when it came to Fates. I didn't personally like the idea that your weapons had, like, no durability. To me personally, maybe again I'm old school. With the Fates games, I didn't like that your weapons didn't have a durability.
No, me neither. Because resource management to me is a big aspect of Fire Emblem. I really like to, you know, conserve and spend, and, you know, feel good when I spend things correctly, and feel bad when I waste things. I think that's a big part of the appeal. Also, the problem with Fates not having durability is that every single weapon needed to be balanced in tedious ways. Did anyone ever use silver weapons in Fates with their debuffing thing? I didn't. It just felt really weird. Did you feel like, oh, I don't want to use a silver sword, lose strength? You know, what the hell?
What's the point of that?
Yeah, and like every single weapon just had these weird drawbacks, like it halved your strength and stuff like that. Just a lot of tedium to it, you know, and they had to do it that way, because or else, you know, the legendary weapons, they had to do something to you to prevent you from using them every single turn.
Exactly.
Which just made them feel weird and awkward. So yeah, go durability. I'm so glad to see it back.
Oh, yeah, definitely, because I would agree, because I feel like it's an element to Fire Emblem. It's like, I know it's a pitfall to where it's like, maybe I should save this weapon for later. It's like, well, you know, you have to really think about it, and when you're buying inventory, and you're like, maybe I need more iron swords, maybe I need this, forges, this and this. I like that management. It's part that makes Fire Emblem, to me at least, interesting, the item management. What items are you going to be holding, as opposed to like, I can hold one weapon in Fates and then have a bunch of like healing items and stuff. It's like, I guess.
Yeah, it feels really weird. I'm so glad to see it back, and I think people will really enjoy it. I know that it freaked out a lot of new people, because they're like, oh, now I don't want to waste my weapons. What if I run out of weapons? Like, no, you're not going to run out of weapons. Fire Emblem always makes sure you have enough weapons. Don't worry, guys. It's fine.
Especially with the Three Houses, it seems like you're in a school, so I'm assuming there's an armory there, right? Like,
Yeah,
it just kind of makes sense.
obviously.
Yeah. Going back to what we were talking about earlier, the three regions, we have the Black Eagles, who are ruled by Edelgard, the Blue Lions, who is ruled by Dimitri, and the Golden Deer, who is run by Claude, who is the future leader of the Leicester Alliance. Each of them is either a ruler or an heir of that region. Maybe it's just me, but I don't know. Have you played Pokemon Go before?
I have a little bit.
Okay, I did too.
I was out just to watch all the weird people mostly, but then I kind of got tired of it.
I got because I played for maybe about a week or so, and then I was kind of like, this isn't really for me. But I got the same vibes from Pokemon Go into this, because in Pokemon Go, eventually you chose a
team,
a team. Valor being red, Mystic was blue, and Instinct is yellow. And I don't know why, but I got those exact same vibes when it came to this game, because I feel like the Black Eagles and the Blue Lions are going to be the favorite, and the Golden Deer is going to be like those people who are just like, choose it because they want to be different.
Oh yeah, totally. I got the same feeling for sure. And it does make me wonder if they're going to be selling it as 3 different games. I sure hope not. But that would be really scummy if they made you pay more for the extra routes.
Yeah, that'd be ridiculous. I hope not, because that would... I get what they want to do. They did that with Fates, but I don't know. That's 3 separate games. Fates is over here like, well, we kind of did that. You had Birthright and Conquest. Y'all still bought it. You guys can pay $60 per game. It's fine. So, no, I don't think it'll be that way, but it might.
What do you mean? I thought Fates was just 2 games. I heard there was a 3rd game, but I kind of I kind of bleached it from my mind, so I wouldn't know.
I'm so sorry.
Just Conquest and Birthright, right? Those are the only 2 games I heard
I'm
of.
so sorry what you went through. If you tragically went to something.
What are you talking about? I didn't go through anything. I don't remember anything.
But yeah, some of the other things we saw, and this is either... To some, it might be worrying, and to some, it's like maybe the game's not finished. Because the game's coming out in July. It's July 26th. Some of the cutscenes, the frame rate issue.
Hideous.
Yeah.
Hideous. I mean, that's why I said this multiple times on stream as well. I both hate and love the graphics of Three Houses. On one side, there are absolutely beautiful visuals to it that looks stunning. On another side, there's so many things about it that look sloppy, lazy, and disoriented and weird. Those cutscenes being part of them. That's 10 FPS at the most. I'm I wouldn't say, I guess by definition I'm a professional video maker, but I still very much consider myself an amateur, considering I learned all this stuff myself. But could they not make cutscenes in more than, could we at least get 30 FPS cutscenes?
Right?
Is that too much to ask for from a professional video game company?
Right, exactly. Especially in the beginning, that's when you first notice it, when because it's like, you start off as a mercenary led by your father named Gerald, and I'm like, okay, this sounds very much like the Grail Mercenaries. First of all, but so the father's probably gonna die just like Grail did.
Yeah, I was just about to say, if you think that father's gonna live past 2 minutes, you ain't played a Fire Emblem game before. I'm sorry.
Exactly. I went through that. Come on, stop this. But
He's
no,
a dad in Fire Emblem. He has no place.
He has no
among our
place.
ranks.
No. I will take your daughter or son as the player. But yeah, I definitely got the vibes of Fire Emblem, Path of Radiance, and that. But you're right. The frame rate was so bad, and then sometimes in the combat it would look great, but the cutscenes themselves is like, oh, alrighty then. Okay.
Yeah, it's not good, and also the quality is just really varying. There's this one cutscene where Edelgard looks amazing, and then right in the next one, it's like the quality just dipped down by 50%, like someone just slid a slider in Sony Vegas and reduced the quality by 50%.
Yeah,
I don't know why. It's like Mecha pointed this out. Multiple people worked on Three Houses, and they had very radically different skill levels. So parts of the game were made by this guy who really knew what he was doing or what she was doing, and then you had these 2 other people who were complete amateurs.
And they're like, what do I do? Do I push button? Nah, they don't need quality. People don't care about quality these days. But the other person did. No. My portion will not be quality. It's fine.
Yeah, and it's fine. I just look at certain parts of these cutscenes and I go wow, they're really ugly. I really hope they do something about that until release, but probably not. I mean, we're just gonna have to see.
Yeah, again, it's something that we just have to wait and see until the game comes out. It is a little worrying. I know during the stream you're like, oh, July, it's not that far. It's like, well, July.
I got made fun of a lot for that. People started saying like he Mangs math the calendar or something. I mean, I don't know. Like my initial reaction, the reason why I said that, because I fully expected this game to be announced to be released come Christmas. I was not optimistic at all. I was like, okay, yeah, December 2019, that's going to be the release date. So when I saw July, I was like, oh wow, that's really good. Well, everyone else was like, what are you talking about, Mangs? That's super late. I was like, nah, I had really low expectations, so I was pleasantly surprised.
I would agree, because I was actually watching this, and a coworker of mine was there with me, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's coming out July 26th. That's like around the corner. And he's just like, you do realize like that's summertime. I'm like, yeah, but we were, come on, this is Three House. And I tried to explain to him, I'm like, this was going to be a big project. I thought it was honestly going to get pushed back to 2020. Like, this game seemed huge. So I was like, but that could also be a double-edged sword here, where it's like, well, we're getting it in July. It's not spring, it's summer, which Meko is right on the bingo card. But I don't know. Can they fix these things? Can they update it? And another thing, like, some of the combat looked nice, but then the crits, there's nothing really.
Yeah, the dreaded flashing critical. That is, when I say that aspects of the game looked really lazy, this is what I mean, right? So, in almost every single Fire Emblem game, the crits have been at least somewhat appealing to look at. Like, the earlier games, I would say, had the best crits. The GBA crits were amazing.
Without a doubt.
I really like the Awakening crits. They feel really umphy. I wasn't a massive fan of the Fates crits, but they kind of grew on me after a while. Echoes did it somewhat okay. You know, every time a character crits, it's like, you know they're about to hit things hard.
Yeah, and it felt good.
In this game, they had to resort to actually flashing critical on the screen.
That's how you know.
Just to like signal to the player that, hey, this is actually a crit. We got to spell it out for you. Look at this flashing critical animation.
Yeah, because you don't know this is a crit. Here, let me spell it out for you. It's critical, as opposed to
I literally think that what happened was that they had these critical animations at first, and then they looked at them and they went, these stink. Can we just write critical on the screen? Because it looks like something that was added on afterwards, you know? They just added on the critical text. So it's like, that should tell you something about animations not being all that great. They need more oomph to them. Can we have that back?
Yeah, definitely. And I would agree with you in saying that the GBA versions were the best, especially when it came to the Myrmidon or like the...
Oh, yeah. Swordmasters split into 5.
Oh,
Come on.
my gosh. Like, they split into 5 and chucked the bam, bam. And the crunching sound effects, it was just, like, so good. Even like you said, in Awakening, there was at least some sort of that high-pitched screech sound, and then they go in... Exactly. So we need a little bit of that. All I saw was I don't know who she was, but she just kind of lifted up her sword. It said critical, and then she hit him. It was like, okay, wasn't that just a regular?
Her name is Petra.
Okay,
she's the
Petra.
pencil skirt swordmaster.
So it's like, so is that it? Is that what all crits are going to look like, or is the only difference just the word crit? Because that just looked like a regular.
And the same thing when we saw the archer Bernadette, when we saw her shoot a soldier. That was a weak arrow. Like, it didn't feel like it had any impact at all.
No. So I think there needs to be a lot of work on this. Again, July is a couple months away, so they do have time to fix it. Whether they will or not is yet to be seen.
We shall see.
Fingers are crossed. But one last thing I kind of want to touch about. Let's talk about the art. What do you think of like the characters and what they look like? Like, I know you mentioned there was one who it's like he has Armor Knight written all over him.
That is Raphael.
Yeah.
I even included him in my waifu review.
What? All right.
Again, characters are very hit and miss. Some of them I think look wonderful. I think people are really going to love the JoJo hat girl.
Yes, because it was photoshopped. She has the Jotaro hat.
Yeah, she has the Jotaro hat, but it looks like it's just added on to her. It's just really weird. No, I don't know. It's very, very hit and miss. I like some of them. I hate others. I don't know. People... I haven't played Persona, but apparently people who like Persona are pretty big fans of the art. I want to see some more official art. We haven't seen all that much yet. We've seen some of Edelgard. I think Edelgard, Claude, and Dimitri are the only ones who we've seen like official art of yet. Mm-hmm. But I'm just gonna have to wait and see. So far, I'm on the fence about it. I think it's all right, but I'm not a huge fan of the graphics of the Switch when it comes to these games. we'll see.
It's something different that we're maybe not used to. Maybe it'll grow on us. But on the topic of character design, what did you think of Sothis? The first thing I thought, and I know this is bad, I thought of Soth because the green hair and everything. And in my head, I'm like, is it the Dawn Brigade? And I'm like, no, stop. It's like one of my favorites. I don't know. Is it the Dawn Biga?
So I got pointed out right before we began this by my designer. He's like, have you seen what Sothis is wearing outside our attire? And I was like, not really. I haven't really studied it in detail. And he was like, well, yeah, that's sort of a reference to Japanese rope bondage. I was like, really? Are you kidding me right now? And he was like, yeah, no, Google it. So there are aspects to her attire that I am not a big fan of, and I know that people are going to obsess over her. She's not Noe. And thank God for that.
Yeah,
I think she's a little bit more tasteful than Noe, but she's going to be 1,000 years old, and we all know which direction
she's going to be the Tiki version, where it's like she looks really young, but it's like you're thousands of years old, so it's okay.
I mean, honestly, I've come to learn to accept this fact about Japan at this point, to the point where I feel like I've spent my frustration on it already. At this point, it's just something I go like, okay, it's par for the course. It's just how Japan works. I'm like tired of whining about it, but a part of me does wish that we would just stop this thing. But of course, we don't know yet. It could be that she won't be a waifu, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. And that's kind of an overall feeling when it comes to Fire Emblem Three Houses. We were shown quite a bit of information. I think it was some very helpful information. At least we know it's not like Metroid Prime 4 where it got scrapped and now it's like, yeah, we're going to give it to another team. We now have more. We got a little more info. We got a little bit of story. We got a little bit of here. We got a taste sample of what could be. There's things that could be better, that there are things that we have to wait and see for. And of course, like we said, they're going in a different direction, but I'm going to be hopeful. I love Fire Emblem. I know you love Fire Emblem. So I think moving forward, I'm going to be very positive about it. And I can't wait to see. What are your final thoughts?
I think that, it's completely fine to expect something different. I think that's what we will be getting. Hopefully it's not going to be too different. I mean, I still hope we'll get the old good Fire Emblem that we all know and love, and that these little mini games that we get on the side, that they're not going to take up too much time, but I hope that they'll be just enjoyable enough to give a fresh experience, while at the same time preserving what we love about Fire Emblem, because, that's why we play Fire Emblem after all. And don't let a few things ruin your love and enjoyment of this game. Even if there's aspects of things that you don't like, it doesn't mean you have to focus on them. I see a lot of people going like, oh, this is just like High School Emblem. This is the Fire Emblem game that I like and love. Guys, just have an open mind. Maybe you'll like it.
Yeah.
Don't be so negative. This is a very exciting time. Hopefully we got some more trailers, some more footage over the next few months. Hopefully there won't just be 5 months of silence. That would be really bad. Even with Fates and Echoes, we got a little bit of stuff coming out. Hopefully maybe we'll leak some character information and some stats so we get something to make videos about. There was this leak with Echoes. Do you remember that? Where they leaked a bunch of stats. And
they did.
That was actually really good because it gave us a lot of things to theory craft. So yeah, I think it's going to be exciting, and I just have an open mind, guys. It might be more fun than you think.
I think that's a perfect way to end this episode, Mangs. Thank you for being on. It's true. Let's be open-minded. Let's stay positive. Maybe when they release some more info, we'll get more hyped. Because like you said, in Echoes, when they released a little bit more of info and stats, I was like, oh, I'm really pumped for this. Let's go. I can't wait.
Yeah.
But we'll have to wait and see. So thank you, Mangs, for being on the show. I hope when we get the full game, maybe you can be on again so we can talk about our full thoughts. Because again, this is all from what we have. Maybe we can have you on again if you are willing.
Yeah, I'd love to. It's always a pleasure being here.
All right. Thank you, Mangs. And of course, feel free to hit us up on Twitter at Zero's Game Room. Our podcast is open on YouTube. It's also on iTunes and Google Play, all of which are at Zero's Game Room. Until next time, the door to Zero's Game Room for this episode is officially closed.